Isn't the thing?
It is good.
Okay.
Nope, it is a bunch of mushrooms.
You're a bunch of mushrooms.
Mushroom.
Yay!
Oh, don't tell her that.
I mean, like, I feel like that's the bad ending for a Wednesday campaign. So, I mean, sure, yay, I guess. Everybody join with Zugtmoy and just become a gigantic mushroom collective. It's fine. Anyway.
I will see no problem with this when I join the collective.
I mean, it's true. But it's okay. We're not dealing with a mushroom apocalypse this session.
Just the death apocalypse?
Yeah, just a death curse. It's fine. Totally cool. And potentially the source of it is only a short distance away, down in Omu.
How big's a hectare?
You just died. What?
How big's a hectare?
An amount that I'm sure you could Google. But yeah, so it's D&D time. You guys just saved almost all of the crew members of a ship that fell out of the sky and into the canopy of the Chilton jungle. And we're kind of in the aftermath of a fight between the party and a undead Giralons that assaulted the ship as you guys arrived. So, with everything less quiet in the jungle, and all the survivors having been safely brought down to the ground, also being, I guess, by a couple of albino dwarven scouts that had led you to the wreck of the Star Goddess in the first place.
I thought they were being overseen by me.
I mean, I just wanted to find a way to mention that there were dwarves there.
Okay.
Yeah, so what do you guys want to do in the aftermath of this fight and rescue and all that?
Should we loot the survivors?
Hold
Empty out
still.
your pockets.
Rummage through.
I guess I asked them what they plan on doing from this point, now that they're not in imminent danger.
Yeah, so like most of them are barely capable of standing. Just to kind of recall that picture, like they are badly sunburned and dehydrated and malnourished. And I keep hearing myself coming through what I think is your mic. You might actually need to turn your sensitivity down for once. Which is crazy, I know. But I'm not speaking at an unreasonable volume. At least I don't think I am.
Is this better?
You're yelling.
Check, check. Hey, hey.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, they're all not, but with a bit of water, a little bit of food.
I heal them?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think mechanically what's wrong with these people is that they've taken on several levels of exhaustion.
Yeah.
So as long as they can get some rest without being torn asunder by the things that live in the shouldn't have you following the dwarves back to Rockamar, should that be the plan.
What are they gonna, like, do they have plans on getting to, Port Nyanzaru, or?
Probably not yet. I think they're
Gonna rest a bit?
Yeah, like they just need to recover, and then once that's all taken care of, maybe the dwarves have some sort of connection or supply line or something that goes out and interacts with other civilizations. But To be honest, they have not gotten that far yet. The crew hasn't. Like they're just happy to have been saved.
Okay. Day is it?
Let's see. So you guys. Do some quick measuring. So yeah, it would have been like midday-ish when you got there.
Hmm.
Still probably like late afternoon.
Okay. So they're going. Okay. So we can kind of escort them up back to Prakmar.
Yeah, if you would like to do that, like just bring them basically once back in that direction, and then, well, I mean, really, you can go as far as you want. I guess the question is, like, what would you like
Well,
to do?
I mean, we need to do something like, go here, or we can go like this, here, and go around.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you need to cover about 90 miles from the wreck down to Omu, which, thanks to your skilled navigator in Gromod, you just under 5 days.
I'm just saying that unless they want to operate, this way, then we can escort them for a little bit and then they could break off. Or we can escort them all the way back and then leave.
It sounds like you're saying extort them.
Yeah, let's extort them.
We
I'm
saved
not
you.
against
Now,
that.
pay up.
You thought we did it for free? Haha.
But yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, if you wanted to kind of split the difference, and since you got to cover that 90 miles anyway, if you did head straight, would give you the best simultaneous coverage of them and not really sacrificing any time out of your way, or out of like on your way to Omu, I guess I should say.
And we could map that area.
You could.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I'm sure there will be no naysayers among a little bit more of an escort.
Yeah, no, they're fine with it.
If they
I
don't
think,
like it, they can go off by themselves.
I think one concern though is, now that I think about this, they're a little more slowly than you do.
Oh.
We'll just carry them, obviously.
I put them in my dome. Pick it up and take it with me.
As if that spell is not.
Don't we have a bag of holding?
We're not doing that.
No, we don't have a bag of holding.
Why don't we have a bag of holding?
Because no one sells them in Port Nines already.
Ugh.
So, yeah, I mean, you could go with them, and that would probably tack on an extra 2-3 days.
If we had the flying thing.
We would have to go all the way back to wherever
Oh, it
the heck
doesn't
it
matter.
was.
That's fine. That's fine.
Why don't we just go clear the way for them, and then they can just make their way safely.
What do you mean clear the way for them?
Because this isn't an RP game.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think
animals
it's the
do
foliage.
return.
Yeah, I don't think it's the foliage that they're gonna have difficulty with. I mean,
No,
probably that
I know
too,
that,
but...
I would assume that we would be making enough noise that we could draw anything that would be in the area.
And then
I'm-
once we leave, easy prey.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, a mile behind us, like, it doesn't take that long to get, more than a mile apart.
I mean, if they can't hold off the wilderness, they're probably not going to make it back.
I'm just saying that they have a greater chance holding off the wilderness if they don't have level 5 exhaustion. And, disadvantage on all throws,
easiest
speed.
The easiest thing would just be to keep them awake at one more night, and then it won't be our problem anymore.
Oh boy.
It won't be our fault either.
I'm just seeing the timeline where Fib tells the two dwarves, "Oh, go ahead. We'll be along with them shortly."
Fib just plays loud music throughout the whole night.
Anytime she sees one of them falling asleep, she's like, "Wake up!"
Yeah.
How about we just escort them for the rest of today?
That's fine.
That is certainly feasible because you basically have the same range left for you that they have in a whole day, and while realistically that would mean that they'll only cover half a hex, meeting in the middle here and saying you can escort them for like 10 miles before, saying your goodbyes after they get one at the very least.
Well, and at least they can do something then on their own. Kind of.
They can't do anything by themselves.
Well,
They couldn't even die by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
well, we tried. That's all that matters.
Anyways, they have a much greater chance of surviving with only level 4 exhaustion than level 5.
Yeah, and actually I think they're at 4 right now.
Oh,
at
they're at
5,
4.
isn't that when your movement goes to 0?
Oh, maybe.
I
We
think
really
you're
do
like
have to carry
comatose at
them.
that point. But yeah, okay. So is that the plan?
Oh yeah, so they have to be at level 4, where their hit point maximum is halved.
That is
So-
the case. So yeah, I think they're at level 4.
So at level 3, they have points. So that will greatly increase their survivability.
Alright.
All right.
So what is planned?
I believe plan is accompany them for the rest of today, covering one, and then power ahead to Omu.
We just
Okay.
awkwardly say goodbyes to them and walk the same direction for the rest of the day.
Well, yeah, but you're walking twice as fast, so it's fine.
And then
Yep.
we decide to make camp, and they happen to walk up as we're making camp.
Why don't they rest ever? What's wrong with them?
They want to die. They're like, you know what? Change of heart. Actually, it would be easier to just exhaustion and, goodbye, cruel Faerun.
Yeah.
You won't help us? Fine.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Your deaths are on, or our deaths are on your conscience.
I will give one of them my spot in the dome.
Oh.
I'm not.
Okay. So
How many are there?
There's 9 spots you can have.
No, I
We'll
mean, how
see.
many people?
it's 9 spots in the dome, and I feel like there are 4 survivors left from the ship.
They can't all get in.
And we have 2 dwarves. So
Yeah.
we have what,
Dwarves?
11?
Are dwarves small creatures?
They are
No,
not. They are medium creatures.
because they're
Then they still count
stocky.
as one.
Well, technically, all of you guys are just 5x5 cubes, like exactly.
Well, yeah.
Wait, we
That's
can
how
all
the rules work.
we can all fit in there because there are 9 of us total.
Is Gromod as a small though?
No.
You're medium.
That is true.
There's
Aren't
11.
you?
Yeah. So
There-
there are 11, including the dwarves, but I think the dwarves can handle themselves,
Ah.
right? Like they.
Okay, the dwarves sleep outside. Everyone else is in there.
The dwarves probably fart too much anyway, so we don't want.
As I look at Thor. Talking all this
Okay.
crap about dwarves, and Thor's standing right there listening to all of it.
Hey,
We keep giving just side glances at Thor.
Austin, I don't think we've has anyone heard Austin?
I
No.
have not.
Austin?
You
Hello?
viciously
Hello.
knocked him down.
Okay.
Thought you just like left and were like, you guys
No,
are jerks.
no, apparently not.
Quit.
Did the bard.
You don't want dwarves? Fine.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you press on for the remainder of the day, and
I mean, I'm just assuming that they probably won't on that place, the survivors.
what was that?
I'm assuming the survivors want to get away from their wreck where they've been holed up for days due to things
yeah.
trying to kill them there.
Yeah, probably.
Sometimes you don't get everything you want.
Well, this time they do. So,
Lucky them.
They're so
Lucky
dramatic.
them.
So you do that, and actually, I suppose clear the thing that you're moving into. If I can do it without selecting the name of the ship. that
Nope.
is.
select everything.
Hey! Now, will I move the X or something? Nope. Nailed it. Okay. So you cover 10 miles. Get your sleep in. Nothing approaches and like tears apart the dwarves in the night. And as as the survivors are looking a hell of a lot better than they did when you first met them, you say your goodbyes, and I suppose forge ahead to the Forbidden City of Omu.
Ooh.
Spooky.
So, do you still want to follow the same path, just dead south, before you kind of hit the angle to head down there?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, can we walk let me paint it. Oops. I don't want to draw a shape.
You
This
can-
way.
I'm waiting for something to show up.
Walk this way. What?
Do you see it?
I do now.
Yeah, I'd be okay with
Um,
that.
Oh, so you're just like maximum map clearance. Is
Well, at
that
least
the
in the,
plan?
getting the corner
Well-
out of the way.
Yeah. I don't want to just leave a hole there and then we have to walk through this frickin' hole.
You say have
It's
to,
just-
like the plan is literally to cover every hex after you leave Omu.
The plan is to cover literally every hex, okay, Eric?
Okay, I mean yes, this is the thing you can do.
But, well, it's just safer.
Well, maybe. It does add 2 days to your travel time.
Well, do you just want to walk like this? I guess I will leave it up to everyone about.
Why are you not wanting to walk like that? Just because of the hexes?
Yeah. It is nothing to note.
I'm fine with hexes being not or uncovered or still covered. Yep.
Yeah.
We're uncovering the hex, damn it.
Okay.
Oh God.
I
So
want to
an
uncover.
extra few days it is.
These are like scratch cards to you guys. It has to be uncovered.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, Eric, whatever happened I had?
They're still somewhere.
Can you turn those in so I can get money?
Maybe.
Thank you.
Your what? Your aluminum stuff? Or
My scratch
adamantine?
cards.
Oh, I never calculated my adamantine. I should do that. How much does that stuff cost per copper?
Per copper? Like
Yeah, I was dropping a bunch
Oh,
of for weight.
right.
Because I was dropping copper.
Okay, welcome back to a currency converting adventure.
Well, I did.
Um,
I wasn't on my laptop, so I
yeah, no, it's
couldn't do
fine.
it.
Okay, so what? Let me open Rockamar stuff real quick. I feel
This is the stuff I mentioned in our preparations.
You should have brought it up.
okay, so I think the adamantine.
Like, I can figure out what I need to drop. I just need to know how much. Like,
What
weight
stuff is worth.
wise. Yeah.
All right, so each adamantine ingot is worth 10 gold and weighs 1 pound.
Okay.
So
That's 10 gold, 100 silver, 1,000 copper.
right, but I think she's asking how
No.
much copper she has to drop to be able to carry one. Is that what
Yeah.
we're going for? Okay. So each coin is what, 0.02 pounds? So you would need to drop 50 copper for every.
Is it?
What?
Is it 02? Or is it?
It better
Yeah.
not be 0.2. Like that's a heavy ass.
No, I was gonna say 002.
Oh.
I think it's 02. Yeah.
Okay.
100th.
So
of a-
yes, for every 50 copper you drop, you can pick up 1 adamantine bar.
Okay, and we could have 20?
I think everybody. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So sounded like people with opinions wanted to uncover hexes, so that's what we'll do. So the next day, as you all sort of forge ahead and begin clearing things out bit by bit, the following day.
I mean, they can follow in our path. I know they're going half want. At least we're trailblazing for them.
So the first day goes uneventfully. And then we get to the next day when the DM has to very carefully not delete the name of Ataz Yikowazi.
No.
Which I don't know if that one's gonna happen there, cause got a lot of stuff going on. Oh, there's one. The other one is like dead center behind it. So you know what? Fuck it. Just gonna scoot that over there for now. There you go. So the second day, as you are all kind of in the last hour or so of your travels.
What's the weather like?
The weather is rainy.
Okay.
As per usual. But yeah, the last probably hour or so of travel. Fib feels the familiar buzz of the dart at her side. And looking around, it takes a second, but you do see movement. Not around you in the bushes or anything like that, but rather from above. But it's not Zorbo's. It's a snake.
No!
That
I
is
pull my mongoose out.
suddenly mongoose. But no, it's uncoiling itself from a tree, like slowly trying to sneak up and snatch up your friend Groilmod as he tries to lead the way.
And you say, snake,
Not today, Satan.
Go away, you dumb snake.
Okay, so yeah, not being surprised. Like, this is not a thing that I'm going to bring us to a battle map for because, like, okay, let's see if it makes the save. Because if it doesn't, it's just dead.
Okay, it's a 15.
That is a natural 2. So, so just like this one smooth thing, like we just get a of the dart. Fib looks around, eyes go wide.
She just screams no and points at it.
And the snake just dies. You just scream no, and it dies and like falls out of the tree, and like its tail drapes over Goromod's shoulder.
Oh man.
Fib feels a lot better now.
Yeah. She does not look at it, walks away from Goromod.
I feel like Sark would have come down and like imitated her yelling "No!" Yes, and then just kind of laughed maniacally and floated away behind her.
Oh my god.
Hey, these
I
guys
did
are little
not
assholes.
imitate
Oh
things.
yeah. Oh yes.
That's awesome.
That's
gonna be annoying, I bet.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Little assholes.
Okay, so yeah, the rest of the day goes by uneventfully. The next day, it is also rainy. And I'm gonna delete your blue squiggly here so I can delete other things.
How much XP does she get from
All of it.
Yay. I'm level 20 now.
There you go.
For the rest of our whole adventure, Fib all Fib does is lay off her snakes.
All right. So the next day, rainy and uneventful. The next day, guess what, guys? It's still rainy.
Woo!
But is there any
And
events?
uneventful.
Well, let's see.
Every time Fib sees a snake, she takes her centipede out to comfort herself.
I was just expecting you to lay like the bodies of snakes in our wake. Kill
I mean-
every snake you see.
Oh yeah, that too. Like, even if it's not threatening enough to be like an encounter, she just kills the snakes.
Okay. So again, like probably a little after lunch on this travel day, Fib having a broken ass magic item.
Hmm. You gave it to me.
I did. No, it's true. Again, you know that there's something nearby.
I look
And
for
you
a
look
snake.
around. Nary a snake to be found.
Whew, okay.
And yeah, you actually don't see anything.
There's something around here. I don't see it. Does anyone see it?
I look. I don't know if everyone else looks, but I do.
Yep, I'll look around.
So like this is it's a dumb D&D stat block thing, but you can't tell. You don't know where the thing is.
Oh!
It's just not possible.
Oh, okay.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna detect magic.
Okay. Yeah, so you do that. And let's see, I think technically not a magic effect.
Hmm.
Damn.
So you all stand around very paranoid in the middle of the woods.
Fib
I'll telepathically
whacks
link
her
to
dart.
Sark. I don't know if Sark can see anything special.
I mean, if we can't see anything, I assume we move on and wait till either it shows itself or Fib's off.
Yeah, can we have like ready to actions or something?
Yeah, sure. I'll
Walking.
say sure. Because it's all kind of like loosey kind of stuff. So as you continue along your path, there is a sudden flash of movement as one of the large plants alongside the path like opens up and just tries to like snatch up somebody. I want to roll to see who it is.
It's gonna be Thor.
Roamond or Thor.
Never knew
It's
we
been
were in
Thor a
Jumanji.
lot in the past, like a lot.
Usually.
I mean, plants like dwarves.
It's true.
It's like Earth.
Okay, so this plant opens up and a bunch of tendrils like reach out and attempt to grab a hold of Fib.
Oh, I
Yeah.
smell snakes though, so that's fine. Can I have
But it
a
is-
chill? Can I have a chill touch as my ready to action?
Sure, but first it's gonna do its engulfy thing, so it's
Well-
going to roll an 18 to hit you.
That hits.
Okay, so plant just opens up and like just like gulps Fib down, and
I imagine just like her toes are sticking out because she's so tall.
I mean, you're probably right. But yeah, so that's the thing. Everybody, if you were holding a thing as you were cautiously walking through the woods, go ahead and just fire away.
Are plants dexterous?
This one is not.
I rolled terribly though. 2 1s.
Oh, starting to wonder if I should move this over to a battle map, guys.
Well,
Oh, guys.
I mean, how many 1s have been rolled? Gosh.
Yeah. So Fib gets snatched up. You guys kind of futilely swing at this plant that just ate your friend, and
Did it pass its dex check?
No, I mean it takes the damage,
Oh.
but it's just not a lot of damage.
I tried.
So yeah, Fib is gonna take some damage here as you guys are still kind of thumping away at this thing. Yeah, Fib, you take 11 points of acid damage as it starts digesting you.
Not too bad. But I don't like
And-
being digested.
Yeah, and you're blinded and restrained and all that good stuff.
Oh, bleh.
And yeah, everybody else, go ahead and do attack things.
Can I hit it from the inside?
Let's see.
Is what you're
I don't-
restrained.
Because I don't need to aim.
You do verbal, but not material.
Well, I have
So
sword.
somatic.
So,
I
so
can cast
you can
sword.
you can make attack rolls, but they're at disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay.
But
okay,
does
so this
does the
is-
crit kill it?
All right. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I hope
So
the
we got-
crit doesn't cut Fib in half too.
Okay. So you finally find a way to start dealing some damage to the thing. It's almost dead. And let's see, did I get anything from Fib this turn? Is Fib gonna make an attack?
Oh yeah.
Does Akka attack?
She attempted to the first round and missed twice because she is nothing but clutch. This turn she hits one, and yeah, between let's see, yeah, okay, that's just enough. So as Fib feels like more of the acid begin to kind of like flow out of the like weird leafy innards of this plant, suddenly just it kind of goes limp and flops open, and she just kind of tumbles out.
I immediately start. Oh shoot! I don't have prestidigitation.
Fib. Zerny runs over and asks if Fib's okay and casts Cure Wounds.
Aww. At least it wasn't a snake.
You get all your hit points
Yay.
back.
Cyrene is such a good mother.
I rolled max health for you.
Aww.
Wait, I think you guys were going. You were going like up here, so you're clearing hexes, like that. Okay.
Fib gets all the nasty stuff.
Okay. So yeah, the rest of the day is fine. Nothing else tries to eat your party members, as has been the theme these last couple encounters. And a new day. And as you wake up on this new day, you find that the area around you is heavily obscured by mist.
Ooh. There's a
Yeah,
vampire
Deadly mist
around
or
here.
just misty mist?
just misty mist.
Okay.
It doesn't have the same like weird bluish tint that the magical stuff that you avoided
Okay.
had.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult to see things.
I
However.
squint and then I can see.
That's definitely how mist works.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So pushing on through the heavy mist. Groilmod, make a perception check. Alright.
Do you actually
So-
have advantage for ranger things?
I don't think so this time.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, Azaka is technically helping, so I think you would get advantage because Azaka is, even though you're really the one like driving things, she is still, at least in theory, your quote unquote guide. So I'll say,
That we're not all gonna walk off a cliff and die.
right, so there's like another mom arm kind of sequence as like as Groamod is like just kind of poking his way through the jungle, and Zaka's up there with him. And just as you're about to take a false step, a hand kind of reaches out, grabs you, and you see that ahead of you, while the mist does kind of linger on your level, there is definitely a deeper concentration of it down below, like several feet below. You're looking down a cliff into what is a desolate looking city situated within a basin. And you can see from your vantage point, almost directly across this basin, there is the familiar reddish-orange glow of some sort of volcanic activity. While it's obscured by the mist, I think Groilmod, as you look out over it, you can actually see in a few places there appear to be flames that are just sort of burning, scattered across the city below. And as you look up at Zaka, who kind of caught you, you see on the other side of her, there is a robed figure just standing there with a skull-tipped staff overlooking the city.
I kind of like nudge Azaka and point off to it.
Okay. So it's like right next to her.
Does she notice it?
She follows your gaze and then kind of looks back at you confused.
You don't see that?
She says, I see a lot of things, including the cliff. I'm not sure what else you're staring at.
There's a robed figure standing next to you with a skull on his staff.
He looks over and kind of looks back at you like, are you crazy? Like, what's going on?
Anazaka.
Okay. Incidentally, as you are you're doing that and cast the spell, okay. I guess describe to me where your focus is staying, because like there's a lot going on here.
As soon as she says that she can't see it, my eyes are not breaking from the figure I see.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, it just sort of stands there, and as you're looking at it, you can see it is a gaunt, kind of pallid figure, skin pulled so tight against the cheekbones of what's really the only visible flesh, apart from the hand grasping the staff.
Do
No one but Gromod sees it.
I will cast that then.
Okay.
Is this a new day from when Fib got eaten by a plant?
It is.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, Gromod just maintains that stare. The figure does not move. It just sort of stands there, overlooking the city below. Okay. So Gromod, you use your hunter's sense to try and learn or deduce something about this creature, and you get the impression that it's not a creature at all.
All right, I'm going to carefully approach it and attempt to touch it.
Okay. So you kind of slowly reach out, and give it a touch. And as soon as you reach a point where you should feel something, it just seems to kind of dissipate in a black cloud that just swirls upward before kind of dispersing into the mist.
Don't like that.
Incidentally, you would also notice that the flames that were flickering down below, now that you have a menacing figure to stare at, they seem to have disappeared, all but that of the kind of dull glow of the lava, whatever it is, off in the one corner of the basin.
So Gromod's going to kind of round everyone up, and just everyone who took a look, he's going to see what all they saw and then like relate to them what he was seeing.
Okay. So yeah, anybody who was not throughout that whole thing, you would have only ever seen the glow of kind of volcanic stuff going on. No other flames throughout the city. No skeletal figure. Nothing. Just a dead, long abandoned city.
What are you so freaked out about?
I mean, wouldn't you be freaked out if you saw like a sort of skeletal figure in like a burning city, and then all of a sudden it just turned into black smoke?
I guess if that had happened, yeah.
Look, I'm pretty sure I didn't eat anything weird in the last like day, so I think something's playing with my head.
What weird things do you normally eat?
I don't know, just whatever detritus comes into my field of view.
Oh. Okay. God, if only he didn't live in a jungle full of poisonous plants. Well, where did it go? What do you want to do about it? You want to chase it?
I mean, we're going to Omu anyway, so I'm sure in going there I'll find out whatever was happening.
It isn't this city Omu.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. We're just finding a way down from this cliff into the city.
Yeah. That is kind of the next point of order, as you are just staring off the edge of a cliff at the moment. Yeah.
How far is this cliff? Like, down?
So, let's see here. I know there's a number. Here we go. Well, it's difficult to say, looking through the mist that's settled in today, but, pretty far. Like, definitely farther than, say, a Misty Step.
Yeah. Roughly, are we talking hundreds, thousands of feet? I mean...
Probably in the hundreds. Like, just based on, like, even the one semblance of a landmark that you have to go off of. It's like the kind of lava pit or whatever it is against the distant edge of the basin is probably somewhere in the like 250 to 300 foot range. Just
And
straight
that's,
vertical from your level.
And that's across the
That is
town?
across, yeah.
Oh, that's easy. Alright. If we want to go down, I can just cast Fly on one of us and we can shuttle people down. No big deal.
Woo, shuttle.
It'd
And,
take-
you know, actually, let's see. I think everybody go ahead and just make a perception check to see if you gather anything else. I think this is with disadvantage, though, because of the mist. Excellent. Excellent. Okay.
I would have sent Sark down, too.
Okay. That's cool. So, like, fully just down in there and trying to scout, see what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, yeah, you
can
send Sark
roll
down.
If you want.
What was that?
I said I can roll perception from him.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. Cool. So you send Sark down, and he kind of like floats his way down into the misty basin below. And as he basically like within a few seconds of him beginning his descent, you hear the sounds of like stone on stone from somewhere kind of off in your periphery along the edge of the cliff. Then you hear...
Yep, he's gone. I blink him
Okay.
out, and I will blink him back to my side if I can.
Okay. So yeah, you do that. You hear this flapping going on from somewhere off to the side, and in a matter of seconds, you see a large stone shape, wings, like with wings and 4 arms, and a pair of humanoid legs, kind of just coasting, gliding down toward the area where Sark was just a few seconds ago, before swooping back upward and circling around to land, presumably, back on the lip of the basin once again.
This is a gargoyle, isn't it?
Looks like it.
Okay. And so I'll blink Sark back into existence. I'll say, well, that didn't work. Is there... So we're up on the side of, like, kind of the side of Omu, right? Overlooking it?
Yeah.
Is there a visible spot, like an entrance down below?
Well, I think with all of your stunning perception checks,
That there isn't.
it's difficult to make out, but those of you who rolled above a 10 with your disadvantage, you would notice that not too far from your little overlook here, there is a large flight of stairs that has been carved into the cliffside, leading up to somewhere probably no more than like, I don't know, 1/8 of a mile or so from where you are currently standing.
Oh, how convenient. Somebody put a staircase.
I mean, you don't know
Uh,
until someone tells you.
Alright, let's go down the stairs.
Like everybody else. What stairs?
my gazer got a 13.
Yeah, that's true. So you would have
Your gazer told you.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. To the stairs?
To the stairs.
How many
To the stairs.
gargoyles are there around this area?
Make a perception check.
How in shape?
Hmm?
Yeah, you cut out like crazy there.
How in shape are these stairs?
They seem pretty well intact.
Okay, so I can prepare a spell and just hold on to it. And not be worried about just falling down immediately.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, as far as looking around for these gargoyles, it's difficult to make out like the more distant reaches of the area, but like kind of along this side, this edge of the cliff, you do notice, now that you're looking for them, there are at least 3 or 4 just within your field of view. Spaced out probably 100 or so feet between them.
Alright. Are they more collected around the stairs at all? Or just kind of
No, they seem pretty spread out, not really concentrated in any one.
And it was just that one that activated, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll say, I'll point out the 2 nearest the stairs, and I'll say, watch for activity from these guys. They might try to hassle us going down.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So as you circle around to this large flight of steps leading down into the city, you get there to the steps with no issue. And I don't know, who wants to be the fearless leader in this situation?
I'll just do it.
Okay.
I will.
Follow right behind her.
Okay, I'll be behind Thorv.
I can
Alright.
poof if something bad happens.
There's
And-
that.
Me and Thorv, though.
Yeah, they can hit me a couple times probably.
So, yeah, kind of looking suspiciously at the gargoyles that are still within view here. Take a cautious first step out onto the stairs. Nothing happens.
And I do a tap 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 before I put my foot down to test its strength.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty strong. Like it's a little overgrown with you know, just kind of the jungle creepers that are gonna accrue over hundreds of years or however long it's been since the city was abandoned. But yeah, the stairs themselves seem to be in pretty good shape.
Okay, let's go on down.
All right. So you do that under the watchful eyes of the gargoyles that do not move at all as you descend the steps.
How polite of them.
And so I suppose we can move to the Omu map. Alright, so can everybody see?
There we go.
Oh, it's so big. Is that a lake of fire? Oh no.
Well, you know, that's fine.
Okay, I swim in the lake of fire.
I mean, it's not that fine. But, yeah, so you descend the steps.
Is that just
And-
Blue Boy?
Yeah.
What?
That's what I decided to use, like, for your party token here. Rather than playing favorites and choosing a PC,
Yeah.
I chose everybody's favorite.
That's true.
Yeah, so you descend the steps into the misty basin that is home to Omu. And the first kind of building that you see is a large, looks like a guardhouse, standing just at the foot of the steps. There are
This
arrow
thing?
slits. No, actually, it's the thing that Blue Boy is on top of.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's the stairs. So this thing.
Yeah, so guardhouse. Arrow slits cut into the limestone walls, and a lopsided iron portcullis hanging over the gateway, beyond which you can see an open plaza. Would you like to venture into the guardhouse or sneak your way around?
Let's go inside.
Into the guardhouse.
I'm watching for traps.
Okay.
That's what the rogue is for.
We don't have
Yeah.
a rogue.
The rogue.
Exactly.
We don't need to watch for traps, that's what that means. Imagine that meme with the guy pointing his finger to his head. Don't need a rogue if you don't care about traps.
It's true. Alright, so heading in then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright. So you pass under the kind of crooked portcullis, and inside you can see that most of the interior has collapsed with age. There's piles of rubble everywhere, and vines and flowers kind of overtaking most of the old architecture, with little tufts of high grass growing up between the flagstones. One wall, however, is cleared of such things and is instead covered with a bunch of graffiti.
Dicks?
Not dicks. Well, maybe some dicks, but lots of words too.
Like fuck?
Like.
Can anyone
"Fear
read
the
it?"
fangs of Rosnasi. Yeah, it's all in common.
Oh, okay.
So actually, there's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna like copy all of the things, and I will put them in chat for you to follow along.
Mm.
So, kind of all over the wall here, you see "Fear the fangs of Rosnasi," and there's like a scribbled note that says, "Eric, I've gone in search of the 9 shrines. V." And then there's like some crazy conspiracy theory looking writing, probably with like more lines drawn to things that used to be there but are now illegible. It says the puzzle cubes are the key. Some other stuff that is really hard to contextualize. Beware the frog monster. Who is Unk? All hail the king of feathers. The snakes are not what they seem. Kubazan equals bravery. Shigambi equals wisdom. Moa equals question mark.
I get Lucius to capture all of this down on his paper.
Yep.
And I want to search for any intact keys or writings
Okay.
that are not on walls, like paper writings.
All right. Yeah, make an investigation check.
Boom, 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 boom. Nope. 19.
Okay. Let's see. I think an investigation doesn't turn up a whole lot in the way of like written artifacts or anything like that. But you do find like an abandoned campsite with a kind of like a torn scrap of yellow cloth. Beyond that, I don't think there's really much to find here.
There's pretty much nothing useful here. Cool.
Why do people always gotta be so confusing? It's not what it seems. You could have said what it was, and it's probably the same amount of words.
Maybe they don't know what the snakes are.
They just are not what they seem.
They'll figure it out.
Maybe
Or they
they're
should've.
red snakes and they look like blue snakes.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Maybe they're
they're not
cuddle
snakes at all.
snakes. Ugh. Then they finally wouldn't be evil.
Alright, I'm sending Sark a little ways down into the town to the next building.
Okay.
Well, are there stairs? Do I fall down the hill?
Sark is a floating eyeball monster.
Yeah, I know. How do we get there?
I don't care, I'm just sending him.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like kind of a narrow path, maybe carved down, maybe along this like kind of seam thing that we see here.
Oh,
Okay. It's not super visible on the map, but like there's nothing that says the characters must face a treacherous descent of 50 feet down the side of the cliff. So I'm gonna say you can get there.
okay.
But yeah, sending Sark down. Yeah. So he floats his way down there, and somebody go ahead and roll a.
Not Laura.
Roll
Why?
Roll
You
up.
remember the last time you rolled a D100?
Oh. Eh.
There you go.
Okay. Cool. So you send Sark down, and he kind of like drifts toward the nearest building, and it's in a similar state to the building that that you guys are currently in, kind of run down, overgrown with jungle plant life. But as he approaches, I think he can see that there is kind of like a dull bluish glow from inside, and a peek through one of the crumbling windows reveals that instead of the kind of commonplace vines and flowers and tall grass and whatnot, this building is overrun by, looks like some sort of fungus.
Is it moving or is it just glowing fungus?
me get a perception check from Sark.
Alright, let me open.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, so looking inside, at first it just looks like it's kind of this thick carpet of vaguely blue fluorescent stuff, but actually outlined in the thick kind of like furry mold and other growth along the walls, Sark can pick out the shapes of what look like tiny humanoid figures.
do they look like Vegapygmies?
They look quite a bit like Vegapygmies.
Okay. I will pop back and I will relay the information that, hey, so about us trying to find the Vegapygmies, I think we found them.
Wait, why are we looking? Can you remind me why we're looking for the Vegapygmies?
They invited us to come by and say hi. Or the
Oh,
one
okay.
they did.
And they live here.
Yeah, so it works.
Okay.
I hope they have food.
And now we
I
can
mean,
talk
we
to
have
them.
food.
So maybe they can help us with the lay of the land.
Hmm. Okay, we can go say hi to the Vegapygmies.
Awesome. So for once in a great long while, you see Lucius actually excited.
Why do they have to be so creepy?
I mean, to be fair, Fib's not really a normal...
Fib is beautiful. Have you even seen her artwork?
Yes, she is, but she still does not
Things
look normal.
can be beautiful and creepy.
Yeah.
Ugh, Fib doesn't have a hole.
Okay, so you're gonna head down there and say hi and whatnot?
Yeah, I will head down, and once we get down there, I will cast Tongues on myself.
Puns?
Tongues.
Yep, he's gonna tell the Vegapygmies tons of puns.
Yes.
Tons of puns?
I don't doubt it.
All of the puns. So yes.
Okay. So yeah, you cast that on yourself and approach this rundown building, and yeah, like as you get relatively close to it, like there is a like kind of a pungent moldy smell that assaults the senses a bit.
All right. So I guess I will approach, and I never did get that guy's name, right? The.
I don't believe you did. No.
All right. Well, I will approach, and is there a door, or is there like an open window that I can kind of like talk to them through?
Yeah, I mean, so basically every opening in this building is kind of like crumbling, falling apart to some extent, but like not to the point of being just collapsed and closed. More like everything is kind of a window to some extent.
Gotcha. So I'll just kind of walk up and I'll say, "Greetings, fellow warriors. I ran across," and I'll wait for a response.
Okay. So you walk up and you say that, and immediately, like, you see 4 sets of kind of gray glowing eyes just like snap open, and they all kind of like spring into action and reach for these little like twig-like spears that they have kind of
I'm gonna step
set off
back,
to the side.
and in the same motion that the one that originally, like that we originally encountered, I'm gonna do the same motion of like, I think he did one of like peace or something like that.
Yeah. So there was a lot to what he was doing, but go ahead and make, I guess make a charisma check.
Okay, because I did know what he, like, kind of what he was doing.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, so they all like kind of spring forth from their little almost form-fitted like uh, crevices in the wall that they seem to be like resting or sleeping in.
So that's kind of cool. So
And
they got like a little like just divot that they lay in.
yeah, like they just kind of like merge almost the stuff that's growing on the walls.
Huh.
That makes them less creepy. I don't know why. It's cute.
Yeah, so they like hop out and they grab their weapons. They kind of like look at each other, start kind of working through this familiar, friendly gesture to them, and one of them like takes a couple steps forward and kind of plants the butt of the spear on the stone floor and says, "How do you know this?"
I will say, I encountered one of your kind far to the north, and was unable to communicate properly with him, but we parted, and we parted not as enemies at the very least, and he told us that if we were to ever be down this area, that his family was down around here somewhere, and that we could stop by and
All right.
I did not catch his name as before. I couldn't speak to him, but now I can.
Kind of looks over its shoulder at the other Vegapygmies that are still kind of standing there with their little spears pointed at you. And looks back at you and says, "You must have traveled far to reach our home. Haven't seen any of you out in the jungle."
I'll say, well, we have been a pretty far distance. We started all the way, and I'll kind of... How far away are they from me?
We'll say like 45, 50 feet, something like that.
Okay. And I'll just say, yeah, we came from the far north to travel down to here. We're looking to try to stop whatever is happening that is causing bad things to people of this area.
There's kind of a nod from the group of Vegapygmies. They like look around at one another. The one in front says, "As are we. There is a ritual that is being undertaken this day as we dispose of one of the evildoers we have found in our home."
Oh? What, if I may ask, what is this ritual? And is there any way we could help?
He kind of looks almost questioningly at his friends, and they kind of like shrug back at him. He says, "There is a sacrifice of fire being performed later this day. The evildoer we caught will be given back to the boiling earth. If you wish to help, you will assist us in rooting out more of the scourge and returning it to the fire."
How do we tell what is scourge and what is not?
They are large, formidable creatures, slick of skin and colorful, poisonous to the touch to all those who are not of our tribe.
At this moment, I'm envisioning these very, very mighty warriors fighting something like a grung.
I mean,
So I will say, do you mean a grung, one of the frog people?
yes, the very same. The scourge of the basin.
Are they also in this city?
Many of them, yes.
Oh. Are they working with whoever is controlling everything else going on in the city?
As far as we know, they are the source of all evil in the city.
Huh. Okay. We may be able to help. I've got a bone to pick with those guys. And I rubbed the dart spot where I got fucking darted a couple times.
All the things have happened to us, and
You guys
Dart
can
you
understand
got
what
hit
I
with.
say too, by the way. So
No.
you just can't understand what he says.
Just-
But I will relay what he's saying to you.
Okay.
So
I would probably say, well, there's more evil also happening here too
I will
than
relay.
just Grung.
I guess the other thing is what, and I'm gonna, do we have, like, I don't have a detailed map of Omu, right?
Not really. I mean, like, I would say that you've seen the map that you guys are on to an extent, like heavily shrouded in mist. So you have a general idea of what's down here, but
So I
Probably
guess
not.
while I was
Yeah.
up on the cliff, then I would have drawn just a loose sketch based on some like unique buildings, such as like this one, and the circle here, and the lava pit. So just to have like a rough map of where water is, maybe the streets, if I can see a couple of the streets.
yeah, that's fine.
And so I will kind of pull out my rough map and I will kind of point to where we are. And I'll say, this is a map of this city. Is there any other place that you guys are, that you guys have control of? So that we would at least be somewhat safe from the Grung menace.
He says, we exert the most control over the area by the water,
All right.
but we are spread all throughout the city.
Is it like this area he's saying about, or is it over here? Or is it all that area?
Mostly like everything that's along that like flooded portion. So really like kind of all along the water.
Okay, so they've got little bases all over through there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, given that you've encountered them this far out, it's not too crazy to think that they probably have some other ones not necessarily right next to the river either,
Yeah. Okay. And then the other question is, where is the highest concentration of Grung you guys have encountered?
Let's see. I think there is actually a good answer for this one. So, yeah, he says the ancient buildings that draw travelers, the Grung Menace, have taken notice of this and have set up encampments around those.
Okay, good to know. So the tourist attractions, basically.
He says, I know not why they visit. Only that many outsiders who visit our home find themselves in these same buildings.
Alright, and I guess can he point out a couple of the buildings?
Yeah, so I think the ones that are somewhat local to him, he's able to kind of point out, which would be basically.
And I guess as I'm finding out more, I'm filling in more of my map, so it's a more detailed map, like as we pass houses and stuff.
Yeah. So I think he marks something about that building.
Alright.
And like over here. And then he tells you that like this big kind of walled in area, the kind of boulevard thing. He says that the latest visitors had set up a camp there.
Okay. And they just went missing?
Well, from his perspective, they just kind of delved deeper into the city. Like this particular Vegapygmy doesn't like, make a habit of going all the way across town and stuff. So
right, I'm just saying like they made camp there and then they left.
Yes.
Okay, so nothing attacked them there, but that was where they had camped.
I don't know that he's necessarily sure about that one.
Okay.
He just knows that he saw them set up camp over there.
Okay, so he didn't see them go anywhere else or do anything.
Right.
Okay, so that might be a place we should go check out first. Because, number one, and this is me talking to the group, number one, it may be an entrance to a deeper area of Omu. Or number two, we might be able to find some supplies.
We'll find out some more information at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Exactly. So, all right. And I'm gonna get this Vegapygmy's name.
Okay. Well, they don't really have names. They kind of view themselves as part of a whole.
Okay. Well, then, so they all pretty much are going to be the same as, and I guess, in that case, I'll ask, well, if I approach another group of Vegapygmies, should I do the same motion I did to you, or is there a better one that says that I'm friendly?
He says, that will do.
Okay. Okay, well, we're going to at least investigate the place with the camp. So.
Before we go, can you have them show us the person that's going to be executed?
Yeah, that's fine.
Just so we can confirm it's a grung.
Yeah, I'll say, can you possibly show us the prisoner that you are going to be executing by fire?
Yeah, he nods and says, yes, I shall lead you to the ritual. And he like reaches toward the wall, and another set of eyes just like opens up.
That's awesome.
And his mount just like jumps out of the mess of fungus on the wall, and he hops on. And
as he does that, I'll just say, that is awesome.
Can I get one of those?
It's like I don't know, probably maybe like 1.5 foot long. This thing.
It's like a little pig-looking thing, right?
It's kind of like difficult to really classify as any sort of known animal. I don't know. There's kind of like a lizardy quality to it.
Huh. That's like the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon.
Kinda, yeah. Except it has like 4 eyes and this weird like multi-forked tongue.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, and like all these kind of wriggling, like constantly moving little tendrils that kind of just pop out from its back. But yeah, so the Vegapygmy like hops on its mount and it kind of rides it like up the wall and then like to a window and says, "This way to the ritual."
Alright. Wait, so he rides it up the wall?
Yeah.
Does he
How tall is the wall?
Yeah.
Like, can we just walk it?
Bye.
Like,
is he like going out of it? Or?
Yeah. So he basically he like goes up the wall and kind of along it for a while to reach a window that's like on the opposite side of the building.
Then I'll walk out the doorway.
Okay. Yeah.
Out there.
So, assuming that you follow your Vegapygmy friend,
Yes.
he's gonna lead you basically like down this way and kind of past this main boulevard thing to this like cliff at the side of the churning volcanic pit that is down below. And let's see here. Yeah, so as you approach, you can see this like glow kind of seeping through the mists, and once you reach like relatively close to the actual edge of the cliff, you can see some ruins that have kind of begun to tumble off the side, and in part of one of those ruins there is an entire wall missing, facing the bubbling lava, and there is kind of like this stone, almost like an altar looking thing. And yeah, as you arrive, you can kind of see this like this wave of movement all around the stone, as like a small army of Vegapygmies is dancing around, like waving their hands, shaking spears up and down, kind of doing this strangely chaotic yet synchronized kind of dance. And they circle around the stone altar that is adorned at the very top with something that's moving. There is like a sheet of looks like just jungle foliage kind of like over the top of it, and it actually looks to be like enclosed, like encapsulated in the leaves, but it's moving and like wriggling, trying to get free. You can't hear any sounds coming from it, but the Vegapygmies just dance and dance and dance around the thing. You guys gonna do anything?
Are we able to tell what it is?
It's difficult to say. I mean, like it's smallish. It's like a little bigger than the Vegapygmies.
Is it Royalmont sized, or is it like Grung sized?
Well, those are actually similar sizes.
Right, but I mean shape-wise. Sorry.
Kind of hard to say.
Alright, well...
You want to send your new pet up to get a closer look?
Yeah, I'll have him keep his distance, but...
Okay. So you send Stark up, and you just want him to like kind of hover over kind of deal? And,
yeah, I want to try to see if I can get a better look at what it is that they're sacrificing.
Alright, make a perception check for Stark.
Alright, to that character sheet.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe like sticking out through, you know, like maybe a seam in the thing that's covering the sacrifice. You can see this. It's kind of like an elongated, kind of almost slimy, wet-looking foot that looks pretty froggy. Looks like a grung.
Alright, I will relay the information that yes, this is indeed grung that they are fighting with. And I'm going to message Cyrene, and I'll say, you think we could solve this with diplomacy between the grung and the Vegapygmies?
Well, aren't the grung like a warrior race kind of thing?
So are the Vegapygmies. But we might be able to convince them to just draw a line in the city and take each side take half.
I mean, we can try, but I don't think that's gonna work.
Are you okay with being on the side of the Vegapygmy and against grung?
I mean, have the grung ever not just attacked us?
Not really.
No, but I mean, they did.
Yeah, I feel like we're by default not on the side of the.
Okay. I wanted to ask you before we made our decision.
I mean, I don't really want to be on a side. I just don't think we have a choice.
Right.
If you're on a side, you can't turn sides.
I think it would
Just
be
at any moment.
better if we chose a side in this, and then at least we have some safe areas. And I guess.
So as
yeah, I was gonna say, I guess we're talking about all this in the group.
Right. Yeah. So they're dancing around, and actually, like pairs of the Vegapygmies kind of like do something that's familiar to Growmod, and they kind of like, you know, one gets up on another's shoulders, and the ones up top.
Put a trench coat on.
They battle stack.
They approach the big like stone altar thing. Well, I say big, but it's like big enough that two of them stacked can reach the top, and they roll the bundled up grung like off the stone block and onto the floor. That it like kind of hangs treacherously above the bubbling lava, as part of this building has just kind of like fallen into the molten earth like some many years ago, and then a bunch of the other Vegapygmies begin like kind of swarming around the near side of this thing, and they start rolling it little bit at a time, rolling, and you can hear like this kind of faint chorus of whispers as they give it like another shove, and it rolls like from on its back to being on its front, and then there's like another sort of chorus of whispers, and they push again, flops over again, and now they're like on the edge of the collapsed floor of this building, overlooking the molten rock down below, and with one last push, they topple the bundled up grung over the edge, and a couple of the Vegapygmies kind of just like stumble and actually fall off alongside the grung.
Oh no!
They die?
A couple of them.
Jeez. It wasn't the one we were talking to, is it?
No.
Okay, good.
And I look at Lucius and kind of quirk up my eyebrow.
I just kind of shake my head. And do they look like they're okay with these guys that just fell off?
Yeah, like the ones that are still up here are like doing some other sort of like ceremonial like dance thing. It's very reminiscent of like the haka sort of situation that that the one did way back by Port Nyanzaru when you met him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just this like ritualistic thing that they're all kind of just like really like passionately taking part in.
Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, if they don't care, I guess I really don't either.
Viv bursts out laughing and does not hide it.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine. They
I mean,
probably.
they're a proud warrior race. They don't laugh.
I hope not specifically at their people dying. That fucking idiot. He got too close.
Yeah, look at Jerry. He just fell.
I told him to be careful.
Fucking Jerry. Oh well. But yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll say to the group. Well, I guess we probably should at least try to start our investigation at the last known place of survivors.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds right.
Makes sense.
All right. So I guess I will work on. So what I'm gonna do, I want to get us to about here, and then I'm gonna send Sark over to the encampment, and I want to have him thoroughly like take a good look around before we go in.
Okay.
Because I've got a mile of space, I might as well use it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Okay, so you guys head back over, saying your goodbyes to your Vegapygmy friend.
Yep. And I let him know
And
we'll check back in
Rip.
with him if we come back by.
Okay. And yeah, you send Sark over to this big, like, kind of walled-off compound that's situated nearby. And yeah, so as he kind of floats his way over there, looking through his eye, well, eyes. He has one big eye and a few smaller ones. You can see that there is smoke drifting up from the compound. And as Sark gets closer, he can see that the main gate has been splintered, broken in. And there are scorch marks all over the buildings inside.
Okay.
Near the center of the compound is a plaza littered with charred human corpses.
Well, I don't get very far.
And one of the corpses is being torn apart by a pack of wild dogs.
We adopt them.
Do I see any indication as to what the fuck did this?
Well, funny you should ask, because you see through Sark's eyes that elsewhere, kind of on one distant side of the compound, there is a glaive that has been thrust into the remains of a burned out pyre. Littered around the base of the glaive are a series of charred snake skulls and blackened, inhuman vertebrae lashed to, they're actually lashed to the top of the spear.
So, like, almost like a decorative trim to the weapon?
Kind of, yeah. Except, I mean, they are very evidently, like, recent remains.
Mm-hmm.
And on a wall nearby, there is a symbol that has been kind of traced out in ash.
Okay.
It looks like a snake, curled in a spiral, gripping a circle in its jaws.
Is that... Is that a symbol I would have recognized by any chance? From
Possible.
any studies or anything that I've done in looking at? Because I mean, I would assume it's probably like something to do with snake people, because weren't they said to have been in this area?
There was something about that, yeah. If you'd like, you
Leonti or
can make a
something?
religion check.
Okay.
Can I also do a check?
Yeah, I would have relayed all this too.
Okay. Yeah.
What is it?
Religion.
Religion.
Gromod really doesn't know.
Dang it.
Okay.
I have proficiency in religion, but not that one.
Same here.
Well,
Ooh.
okay. So, yeah.
Fib
those
likes
of
her
you-
creepy religions.
It's
Yeah.
about
Kind
Fib
of,
made
yeah.
sure. Yeah, Fib made sure she knows enough about snake people that.
No,
And-
your
and, like,
enemy.
It's kind of fitting, actually, that like Lucius and Fib are the ones who know that, because it is very like doomsday cultish. So this is the symbol of Dendar, the night serpent,
Ooh.
snake that is supposed to come back and devour the world, according to well, its believers.
Okay.
Fib becomes religious.
Wait, the snake swallows the world, not the world swallowing the snake, so I think you're okay.
Well, no, it's the end of the world. What else would call this the end of the world than a giant evil snake?
Is there a mongoose god?
Not that you're aware of.
I searched mongoose god D&D and it came up with Vecna, so...
Yeah, that's gonna be a big no then.
I mean, kinda, but yeah, not really. Unless you want
Fib
darkness.
now follows Vecna.
It's because there was an article about Vecna published by Mongoose Publishing.
Does the spear look like it's in really nice shape still? Like, does it look like it may be magical?
Probably not.
Okay. So everything that's there is just pure symbology, it looks like. In terms of...
Or symbolism.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah.
And then does the altar looks like it's been recently used because of the remains on the spear, right?
Well, so it's not an altar. There isn't an
Oh.
altar here. It's just like, so it looks like, if you had to make a guess, kind of based on knowing this is some Dendar follower shit and all of that, given the snake skulls and the kind of vaguely not human vertebrae that you're seeing, you could probably piece together that this is some sort of funeral pyre for the presumed snake people that attacked the humans here.
Okay. So they may still be in the area. They won, is what that's telling me.
I mean, they're the ones who were disposed of with some degree of reverence, so there is that.
And you said just about everything is burnt?
Yeah, it looks like there was some kind of crazy, like, either literal fight with fire, maybe like some mages or something took part in this. But yeah, like the entire area is singed, and obviously there are the remains of the kind of smoldering people and the funeral pyre itself.
Yeah. I'll send Sark a little deeper in then.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? Give me another perception check for Sark.
Alright, let me find his character sheet. Ooh.
All right. And I know, like, I feel like we just had this discussion either last session or the one before. Do you just see, or do you like have all the senses through Sark?
I have everything. I can see, hear, all that. I lose my ability to see, hear, and touch here, like as a human, but...
Okay. So I think as Sark is kind of drifting around, you can hear what sounds like muffled yelling, but you can't really pin down where it's coming from.
Like, almost like it's somebody's hostage or something?
Maybe like muffled cries for help.
Alright, I will pop back out of Sark real quick and I'll say, there's somebody that's being held hostage there.
Anything we should know before we go help?
Probably snake people, lots of fire used, so beware of fire.
Wild dogs.
Yep, the wild dogs too, that are there.
Okay.
And I guess I'm gonna just let Sark roam around there as safely as he sees fit, and just have him kind of watch and monitor things. Okay. And if something takes note of us that he sees that we don't, let me know. So he's basically like our little drone eye in the sky.
Okay. Cool. So you guys are moving in?
Yes.
Yep.
Alright.
Off to save the person.
Okay. So through
Off to kill the snakes.
through the splintered gate you go. And yeah, so you see that there's still this small pack of wild dogs kind of fighting over bits of a corpse that are still somewhat intact. And honestly, they seem distracted enough by the corpse that maybe they noticed you enter, but they don't seem to really be interested at the moment.
They don't care unless we take their food away from them.
Yeah, they're more scavenging than wanting to fight something to kill it.
Yeah.
Well, they have food right in front of them. They're gonna deal with that first.
Yeah.
Alright. It's even cooked. So there's this compound of 6 or 7 buildings. A lot of them big and blown apart. Piles of rubble everywhere. And yeah, so what's the plan?
Follow the sound. Follow the cries for help.
Yeah.
Alright, everybody make a perception check.
I mean, I let you guys hear and my job's done.
Okay. So, I like how presumably the most indifferent member of the party has the best idea of where this person is.
She knows it matters to Sirenny.
I would not say indifferent when it comes to snakes.
Is it snakes though, or is it somebody else who may or may not have been the victim of snakes? Because that's,
He heard snakes, right? That's what Fib is going to kill.
Fib is looking for snakes.
Okay,
we are
well,
looking
Fib,
for...
Yeah.
Fib, as you're looking for snakes, you hear a not snake. You hear what sounds like a humanoid man's voice from inside of a pile of rubble against the outer wall.
Okay, so not being held hostage.
Yeah, not so much.
Fib just points at it. There you go.
Okay, starts carefully moving stones.
Okay. So as you begin carefully moving stones, yeah, you somewhat rapidly reveal that there is in fact a person. Rock. He is like an older.
Okay. I was gonna say it better not be that stupid guy that they tried to kill at the camp.
Shago.
No, not Shago. The one at the Camp of Vengeance.
Oh yeah.
And then he led all
Uh,
his people here.
Yeah,
Oh, that
what
would
was
be
that guy's
great
name?
though, wouldn't it?
Commander Breakbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta find him, and we gotta find the Al Press Cleaver.
But yeah, so you find this like older guy, like kind of balding. He's got a like a matted white beard and kind of like the skullet thing going on.
A skullet?
He bald up top, but still has like relatively longish hair elsewhere.
I did not know there was a name for that.
Yeah, that's
Someone at
beautiful.
someone at my work has that. It upsets me every time I see it.
But yeah, so he's wearing kind of like more traditional Chultan garb, although he's like decidedly not from around here. Like, you know, old white dude who has kind of like decided to immerse himself in Chultan culture kind of thing. But he looks pretty beat up. Like, you've recently dealt with some people who have been fighting off exhaustion and starvation and all that stuff. This guy looks very much the same. Thin, kind of like barely conscious. His voice is kind of cracking as he like calls out and says, "Yes, I'm right here."
Why is everyone so helpless?
Okay. Out of the rubble, and I start checking him for injuries and asking him what he is doing here. And what happened. And he apparently has one arm. Does he have one arm, or did the picture just cut it off?
So
Because it looks like he only has one arm.
It looks like the picture just cut it off.
I figured it would cut it off, like, I don't know, lower.
It's cut off weirdly.
It
Yeah.
is weird. However, he does in fact have both arms.
Okay.
But yeah, so he's kind of in and out, just vaguely conscious most of the time. But as he's trying to force his way, like, you know, to maintaining wakefulness, he is able to tell you his name is Orvex, and he was here with the Red Wizards.
Do you know who the Red Wizards is?
I mean, you've fought a Red Wizard.
Is it the Necro people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the undead pyramid scheme or
Yeah. Why are the Red Wizards here? So he's a Red Wizard?
No, he was hired by them.
Oh. Why
But-
did he allow him to by them? Wait, so he's where's he from?
Is he a guide?
Well, he said he's not Cholton, right? So where's he from?
Right.
Is he from the land of Red Wizards?
So he I mean, okay, so like you haul him out of the wreckage and all that stuff, and we'll assume like you get him to safety, right? And so we can kind of like montage that.
Yeah, I'm not like, you know.
Yeah, as you guys are like kind of sitting and like, but yeah, once he's kind of like in slightly better shape and able to fully like converse,
Food, water, all bandaged up,
yeah, he
pillow.
he tells you that he's a scholar a lot of time in basically cloistered away studying in Waterdeep and a few nicer places in Baldur's Gate, although he says he was happy to get the hell out of there.
Well, is he still happy?
He says that he was hired by the Red Wizards to basically serve as a translator, kind of an expert on ancient Chilton society. And basically, he tells you that the Red Wizards have arrived here in Omu in search of Tomb of the Nine Gods.
Ooh, what was that? The thingy on the graffiti?
Eric, I've gone in search of the 9 shrines. B.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Where
one.
the frog
Yeah.
monster, the puzzle cubes are the key.
Okay. Why were they searching for it?
Wasn't Omu the city that split off into a bunch of different followers?
Yeah, so quick on that, which actually Orvex is kind of like he can basically tell you the whole story. But if we're gonna kind of somewhat abridge things, the people of Omu turned away from Ubtao, and began worshipping these kind of like false pseudo deities that
There were 9 of.
there were 9 of, and most of them were basically they were, well, okay, I guess I can just summarize and just get some of this going here. So there were creatures of Chult that were basically able to trick their way into being as gods. So, you know, like a Zorbo was one of them, an El Mirage, unicorn bunny. Commodon, which you know, it's the snake thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Grung, an Eblis, the creepy talking birds that threatened to eat you before. A Froghemoth.
Oh my god.
A Sioux monster, which is like the monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. A Jakuli, which I don't think you've actually met yet. But they're basically like they're snakes, but they can camouflage themselves. And last but not least, a flail snail.
Aww. That's the best one.
But yeah, so they, in the days of such things being a common occurrence, were able to basically con their way into being revealed gods, and so each of them amassed a following here in Chult, and as such, each of them has a temple. And while the temples went unused for quite some time in the wake of the trickster gods being locked away by the next one who would seize power in Omu, they have once again become relevant as adventurers from across the world try to make their way into the Tomb of the Nine Gods. For only with the 9 puzzle cubes, each of them ostensibly located within their respective deity's shrine, would you be able to get inside?
And why do they want to get inside? For untold riches, or?
Well, a lot of them are seeking power, as the tomb of God, let alone 9 gods, is sure to hold some sort of forbidden magical secret that would be perfectly useful for subjugating the weak, in the case of the Red Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
As Lucius rubs his hands together.
But we don't need that. We just need to get rid of the death curse.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to some untold riches.
Yeah, so he tells you that the Red Wizards have already begun amassing the 9 puzzle cubes in an attempt to get into the tomb.
And where are the Red Wizards?
Well, Orvex doesn't necessarily says, well, they left me here, obviously, but they were aware of a couple of temples not too far from here.
Oh, so there's more besides just the ones that were dead around you?
He says, this doesn't look like all of them are. In fact, wouldn't leader made his way out with a few of his lackeys, but their numbers are certainly diminished, and they must be on their heels, having lost casters and their translator.
Do you hold? Well, I guess. What would you like to do now?
Well, I didn't come all the way out here into the jungle to this insanity just to turn around now. If you would have me, I'll travel with you and translate what I can, try and make sense of all the ancient Chilton relics and artifacts.
Do you have any allegiance to the Lights?
Red Wizards?
Yeah, thank you. Red Wizards, will you stab us in our backs?
Will you keep me alive?
As much as we keep ourselves alive.
Why were you in a pile of garbage?
So he was in a pile of like rubble. So
Yeah,
like,
I know.
rocks and stuff. Okay. Well, a wall collapsed on me, and I'm an old man. Couldn't fight my way out.
Did he... did he respond to my question?
I'm sorry, there's lots of questions.
I asked if he... the Red Wizards, and will he stab us in the back?
The only reason he was with them is because he was getting a paycheck.
Okay, can I do an insight check to make sure he won't stab us in the back?
Sure.
Yeah, I would like to as well.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Alright. Okay, is that everybody good?
Yeah.
I want a Vegapygmy to do an insight check.
You see no reason to doubt him, and I mean,
He is an old man.
Yeah, and he's not in the strongest position here either. You know, like
We could kill him if we wanted
Well,
to.
What
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are his strengths then? Is he a caster?
He can translate things.
he's an academic.
We have to
Right,
protect
but I mean, is he
him,
a spell
or he'll
user?
die from the wall.
Or is
No,
he just a
he's-
fucking
he's
bookworm?
a nerd.
Fucking nerd.
Special abilities, nerd.
Yeah.
I look to the rest of our group and see what their opinions and thoughts are.
We can take him, but like if a wall falls on him again, he's gonna have to try to get out.
For the record, I did try last time. I just couldn't.
Well, what if a wild band of these grung frog creatures come out and attack? What can you do to protect yourself?
Get in a ball.
Can find the nearest thing to hide behind.
Oh dear lord.
Okay.
It's not our fault if you die.
I look at him and I take the circlet of blasting off, and I'm like, "Do you know how to use this?"
Damn.
He says. He looks at it. Says, "I could probably figure it out."
God.
Okay, I'd be like, "I do this, and you can blast things with it." Well, once a day.
Okay. So yeah,
Does he
like,
need to be
takes it
attuned?
and-
No.
Takes it and like
I
puts it on the top of his balding head.
Oh, it's a head thing. I thought
Yeah.
it was like a bracelet.
No. Does he look extra like kingly now?
I mean, kind of in like a scared nerd with a receding hairline kind of.
But does he feel?
No.
But he should feel safer because now he can do something in defense.
He does feel safer.
Now he can
Um,
make one attack.
Mhm.
And yeah, like, well, okay, he would say that he can swing a sword reasonly well.
Does
Do
he
you
have
a sword?
sword?
Yeah, he has a short sword.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be like, also give me a sword.
I have a quill.
God,
The pen is mightier than the sword.
is it though?
Only if somebody else has a sword. Then it is not.
All right. So yeah, I mean he's relatively defensible for a civilian.
I say that I will teach him to do push-ups and stuff, so he's and not so
How
much of a
old is
nerd.
he?
Old.
He
Like,
can't do push-ups. You're gonna break him.
Fine, I will make him lift up his sword up and down.
Yeah, is
what-
he gonna like strain his back if he lifts his
I've-
sword up?
I've fallen and I can't get up.
What language
I worked
does
with-
he know?
Before.
Like, for translator wise, I would have just Lucius would have asked him, like, what languages do you know to translate from?
He says, I am an expert in ancient Omuan, dying discipline, and one that you may find quite useful here.
Yeah. Does that spread to the cult, the 9 false gods writings as well?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch. What was the question?
Oh, I said, does that spread to the 9 false gods writings as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he is useful then. So I guess I will ask, well, so this was this a locate? This isn't the location of one of their shrines, was it?
Referring to like the walled compound that you found them in?
Yeah.
No, this was just kind of their base camp that they had set up.
Okay. So what was with the funeral pyre? I'll ask him. Is it just...
He says, wasn't here when I was buried, so I would assume that would be from the attackers.
Gotcha.
How long were you buried for?
Yeah.
What attacked?
He doesn't know.
He
was buried.
Oh.
Like, dude was literally
first
living under a rock.
explosion just collapsed the wall next to him. He didn't even see it coming. Just.
Creepers.
I think he would know that the group was attacked by snake people. Yeah. And let's see, there was another question in there. I'm sorry, there's just so many questions.
How
was
long
he
ago?
buried?
Yeah.
How long ago? Yeah, there we go. He says, probably the better part of a couple days.
Oh my god.
And you didn't sleep at all. Gosh.
Is there pee around this area? Pee in the rock?
mean,
Do you really want an answer to that question? Get him a bath.
Does Faraday have prestidigitation?
I do.
No,
Damn it.
but he does.
Yeah, I'll use it.
Oh.
He's got it.
Fib puts her fingers out over her nose.
So, I take a couple minutes, sketch out how this compound is on my map, and I'll say,
Okay.
The area to the left of us, or to the west of us, do you know what that is?
He says, well, we've narrowed it down to being at least one of the shrines. I've not been to the site yet, so I couldn't tell you which of the 9 it belongs to, but it is most likely the home of one of the cubes.
Sark immediately flies off. Like, as he was just kind of hovering over my shoulder, he immediately flies off in that direction. And
Okay.
I'm going to have him go take a look and see what he can see.
Cool. So you send him over, and you see through his eyes that there is like a rectangular building with kind of a low stone wall around it, with a gate that kind of hangs open in front of the building. And in front of the gate, there is a large pool, a rectangular pool of murky water that stretches basically the entire width of the building and the stone wall that encloses it. There are rope bridges, or at least the remnants of rope bridges, that kind of now hang partly floating on the surface of the murky water, tangled up with other debris. And the shards of a toppled monolith form stepping stones to the middle of the pool, where a statue of a stone frog rises above the water.
Like a grung-style frog?
Just a frog.
Okay. So I will relay that to Orvex, and I'll say, so this is, it appears this is the altar to the, I would say maybe the frog monster? Whichever, the,
Kubazan, the frog hemoth.
yeah.
That is entirely possible.
Who are his followers, do you know?
I think he says, to my knowledge, the followers of the trickster gods were not necessarily easily put into a single category.
Okay. Well, I just didn't know if maybe, like, the Grung followed the Grung god, or at least the trickster god, you know?
No, generally the entire population of Chult was basically, you know, subservient to one or another of gods without much discrimination.
Okay. We never heard any lore on this guy.
On Kubazan, the frog hemoth?
Yeah, I don't think so. Did we?
Probably not. I think what Orvex could tell you, at least according to the lore and like the legend of the 9 gods, is that the Iblis, the evil talking bird thing, sent a marsh frog to reason with Ubtao when they had a bit of a conflict. but the frog was angry, and it decided to wrestle the god instead.
Yeah.
Ubtao was amused by this, and so he gave the frog tentacles to make it stronger.
Oh my god.
Okay. And then that's what the Froghemoth is?
Presumably.
All right. Well, roughly what time of day is it? It's still pretty early, right? Or at
Yeah,
least midday?
sure.
Well, do you guys
Yeah,
want
we'll
to
say, like-
try to tackle the first temple?
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's.
All right, and I will draw in the map on my map of what it is.
Okay. So, let's see.
And Sark's just kind of gonna be on lookout for any sign of life coming from this little temple.
Mm-hmm. Alright, this map is taking forever to load. Oh, yeah, it's because it has all 9 shrines on one map.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
I mean, efficient use of space, but
It's a lot of shrines.
it is a lot of shrines.
Yeah, I mean, like, the shrines aren't huge, but they all have, like, their own dynamic lighting setups and all that stuff, so... okay. So... let's see what we have here. Alright, so with Sark kind of keeping watch, you don't see any signs of movement. And the lot of you make your way over to the exterior of the shrine. Let's see here.
I'm gonna send Sark once we get over there. I'm gonna send Sark over to the little island
Okay.
that's in the pond and have him kind of eyeball what's going on over there.
Okay. Make a perception check for Sark.
All
Okay. So, yeah, looking around, yeah, it just looks like a big old frog statue, just kind of situated there, and, yeah, not anything too crazy to see.
Does this frog statue have tentacles?
It does not. It's just a frog.
All right. So this may not be the other. This may not be the Froghemoth statue. All right. I guess if there's nothing else, do we want to try to head inside? Is there anything? There's nothing stopping us, right? It's just an open temple.
So there's like an open gate that leads into this like stone enclosure thing, that like surrounds the actual temple, and the temple does have a pair of like double doors that stand currently closed.
Okay. I'll send Sark around the building. Is there a window or anything?
There are no windows to this building.
Oof. I guess, I'm gonna go up and inspect the doors. I'm not gonna touch them. I just want to inspect them, look for any traps, anything out of place, anything.
Okay. Make a, we'll say, a perception check.
Perception. Ooh, I
Cool.
see nothing.
Nope.
Everything looks good. I'll say, well, anybody want to? Should I just knock? I mean,
What kind of doors is it?
So it is a pair of like large stone doors that just kind of stand there looking all heavy and stone-like.
Okay.
do they have Dungeon Depot logo on them?
I don't think you can really knock on a stone door. but I guess you can try.
That's a very fair point. Let's just open them, I guess.
Okay. Oh, there is one thing that you actually would see, and it's a series of it's basically an inscription written in some sort of language that you don't understand.
I believe we may have somebody
Lick
that
it.
might.
You might.
So I will call forth our scholar that we saved from a brick wall and see if he can translate this for us.
Okay. So yeah, like it's kind of it is sort of a treacherous like approach. Like you don't have to make a check, but the space between the wall that kind of forms the exterior of the temple grounds and then the pool that sits just in front, there's only like 5 feet of clear ground there. So, there's kind of just like this paranoia anytime somebody like makes their way along the wall and through the open gate. But, no issues. So Orvex comes over and his attention's immediately drawn to, and he says well, essentially, Kubazan urges us to tread without fear and to give back as much as we take.
Is this part of their preaching and their teaching?
I'm not familiar with this saying. It doesn't seem like any tenet of the religion that I've heard.
Well. Alright, should we go in?
I guess.
Okay.
We'll
so
see what
this
else
is-
we would do.
This is the part where I think I'm gonna actually like bring some tokens over and get you guys on this map, because we should probably figure out where everybody's gonna be for no reason at all.
Yep.
Mhm.
No reasons at all.
So to that map we go, and it should be blacked out for everybody, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody can. Okay. So there's a fib. There's Lucius, who I know specified he was over there. Here's a Gromod, who I might need to double check has sight, because that's a thing I keep forgetting.
Currently, I do not.
That's what I figured. Sight.
Eye of Thundara, give me sight beyond sight.
Okay. Can you see now?
I can.
Cool. All right, and then we got that. Let's grab a Zaka.
Oh, that face.
Yeah, I don't know why they like it. There's nothing that says it's a frog making a frowny face, or it's just a frowny face, or anything like that. It's just that's what's there.
I mean, it looks like it's like the anguish.
Yeah. Okay, so then Orvex is there, and yeah, feel free to position yourselves as you would like to be positioned at this point. If you feel like you would be closer as they're opening the door, you can do that. If you think you guys are dumb and I'm going to hang out back here, you can do that.
Wait, why are we?
Huh?
Well, you're some people, or are you moving?
Well, okay, people who
What-
specified that they were going to the door, or those who have moved themselves
Where's the door?
Is like over here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So then that and cool. So Lucius is doing door things.
I was muted. Yes, I will open the door.
Okay. So what? Just like try and open it and see if it's that if it's movable.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do that, and as you do so, you quickly determine that the door is locked.
All right. Is there an apparent keyhole, or does it appear to just be barred from the other side?
Yeah, I think closer examination would reveal that there is a physical mechanism to this.
Okay. Let's see. I don't know that I really have anything to get through this. So I may step back and say, well, it's locked and I have no way to get through.
Good thing you got that rogue with you.
I suppose I might be able to get through. Is there a gap under the door?
Let's see if it specifies.
I could just cast Shatter on it. Oh, a creature made of inorganic material.
I mean, the door's a creature, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably sealed. That's how I would interpret this.
If I use Thunderwave, can I blast it open?
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna step back because I've got fucking nothing.
Okay, well then Orvex is definitely getting the hell out of the way.
I guess step up and cast Thunderwave at it. See if that does anything.
Okay. So you do that, and there's this like big bang sound as you just like explode this massive area in front of you. And let's see. Okay. Everybody make a wisdom save.
Ooh.
A wisdom save?
Yeah.
Cyrene's very wise.
Yep.
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 Yup.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, the only one affected, of the PCs at least, is Thorv.
Uh-oh.
So, Thorv, you are terrified of the door, and you feel the need to run, pretty much. You have to take a dash action and just run as far as you can. But it is the safest available route. So basically you just end up like running along the side of the pool. And as Thorv starts doing that, let me make checks for the NPCs. Orvex and Azaka both do the same in the opposite direction. And you hear like a little, as there's like a little drop of something that like submerges under the water of the pool. before there is a massive splash as this huge creature like launches itself up out of the water, kind of cannonballing back down right here. And you see before you a massive froghemoth that I guess will be the thing that we fight when we come back next time.
We have to fight a god?
Is it a god or is it just a froghemoth?
Sounds like a god.
Sounds like a real big frog to me.
It's a big
It's
boy.
a real big frog.
Wasn't that a ska band?
Real big frog.
Real big frog?
Oh no, that was just a cover band.
Oh, like real big fish?
That's a bad joke.
But yeah, so hey, there's a giant tentacle frog monster thing. And we'll deal with that next time.
That decided to pop its ass out of the fucking pond that I didn't realize was as deep as it is.
Yep. It was like full on, like had a single little eye stalk above him, was just watching us the whole time.
And we just did not care.
If for Sark to notice it, but not good.
Yeah, I had hoped Sark would notice, but
Yeah, well, it's all good.
Yeah.
At least our nerd is out of the way of danger now.
well,
true.
we're kind of surrounding it, so that works out. So I don't know. I feel like it's good. You know.
Do you think this is a humanoid?
Why not? Why wouldn't it be?
Yay.
I mean, we've got our one person who's like a fucking water person up front on it, so we're good.
There's that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our range is at range. Thor is out of danger of being eaten. I mean, it couldn't have gone any better, I don't think. 100% worth.